Hi, my name is Brandon, and I'm an alcoholic and addict in recovery. Today I finished up Recovery 2.0 by Tommy Rosen. Great book, highly recommend it. I want to read something he wrote in the conclusion that really sums up my belief about a higher power. And I like the way that he puts this. I'm going to go ahead and read what he wrote and then talk a little bit about how it relates to my belief of a higher power. Tommy writes, "This belief of separateness underlies and fuels the four aggravations and all the addictions and problems of our world. Our misperception of the interconnected nature of reality is responsible for war, famine, poverty, and disease. It is the main addiction we must all face if we are going to bring about true recovery and peace for all." Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote, quote, "It really boils down to this, that all life is interrelated. We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied into a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." End quote. It starts with the individual. It starts with you. I'm going to stop right there. I love that quote. I had never heard that before, and I think it's so beautiful, and it is a perfect expression of my belief in a higher power. I don't believe in a higher, my higher power is not a thing, in as much as it's the connection between everything. So my higher power, if I had to give it a name, one name would be the universe, basically everything. But really what I'm talking about and what I view as my higher power is the interconnectedness of everything in the universe. And when I'm talking about everything, I'm not talking about just people. I'm talking about people, animals, trees, inorganic material, space, whatever. I kind of view it all as one whole that I am just a part of. And viewing it that way gives me an unbelievable amount of humility. Because when I look at it that way, it's clear that I am in no way the center of that universe. I am just a little part. And when I look at it that way, it becomes easy to set my goals as putting good into the universe rather than trying to get everything out of the universe like I used to. So reading on to some more of what Tommy says, because I like this next part as well. He says, "At your core, you are not a drug addict. Nor are you an alcoholic. You are not a compulsive overeater or gambler. You are not a codependent. You are not a sex addict. These may be behaviors you have chosen to help you along through difficulties, but these are not the truth of who you are. You are not meant to remain an addict. That is not your destiny, but you could make choices to make it your fate." I like that clarification. In the last paragraph I'll read, he says, "I believe you are a divine being. It makes no difference where you have been or what you have done. There is spirit inside you, as there is in everything in the universe. You are connected to everything through the spirit which lives in you. It makes your heart beat. It gives you your breath. Some refer to it as God, the supreme being, great spirit, the universe, the divine or higher power. Others do not know how to refer to it or prefer not to refer to it at all." So one of the things that I think is so unfortunate about the way the AA program has evolved over time is that a lot of people view the program as having belief in a Christian Judeo-Christian God as a prerequisite to entry and success in the program. And that is simply not true. The program requires belief in a higher power. And in my view, and the way I was taught in the program, the importance of believing in a higher power, or another way to, if even the term higher power makes you uncomfortable, just say power greater than yourself. The purpose of believing in that is to get ourselves out of the selfish mode that we were in our addiction, and to start moving into a mode of feeling and being and acting interconnected with other people. Once we're in a place where we're feeling, acting, and being interconnected with other people, we'll see our mind shift to a place where we start being more concerned with selfless activity rather than selfish motivation. And that is what I was taught is the most important aspect of starting to explore a relationship with a power greater than yourself. For me personally, that was difficult because I came into the program as an atheist and an agnostic. And if you look at the strict definitions of those terms, I probably am still an atheist. I'm definitely still an agnostic being someone who believes that it's not possible for human beings to truly know the nature of the universe, or whether or not there is a divine creator. That being said, I definitely have a higher power, and I pray to this higher power every day. And that higher power is the universe. It's the interconnectedness between people. It is the fact that I am made of the same stuff that the stars in the sky I see every night. I'm made of the same stuff as those. I'm made of the same stuff as the animals and trees and the rocks and all of these things in the universe. We're all made of the same stuff. So why should I think of us as separate beings? Why should I not think of us instead as part of one whole? And once I started thinking about things that way, my life shifted a lot. And I stopped thinking as much about what I could get out of life and started thinking more about what I could put into it. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I started recovery, I was in a treatment facility, and every day we had to write down what our higher power was and how connected we felt with it. I didn't know what to write at first, but the thing I felt connected most with and the power that I knew that was greater than me was the people around me, my fellow recovering addicts who were in treatment with me, who were caring for me when I was emotionally unable to care for myself, who were helping me get accustomed to the living situations we were in, and what that schedule was like, and what this whole world was like. Those people were a power greater than I was, because they were literally keeping me from just falling down every day. And so as I started to develop that relationship with those people, that idea of being connected to others grew and started to grow stronger. And I started to realize I've had this idea for a long time, that I am connected with other people, that I'm connected with the universe as a whole, that I'm just part of all of this, but I just haven't done anything with it. I've had this idea in the back of my head, but I've just kind of let it sit there. And I haven't said, okay, well, if you believe this, what does that mean for what you need to do? And for me, what it means is that I need to stay sober, and I need to figure out how I can put good into the world. And doing that good starts at home with the people who I live with, the people I love, my wife, my son. It starts with friends and being available to help them and caring for them and checking in on them and not expecting them to check in on me, but really trying to care for the people that I love. And it continues on through the recovery community, where I make myself available to newcomers, where I give people my number and say, hey, if you ever need anything, give me a call. And it also continues to myself, taking care of myself, not treating myself the way that I did for so long in my addiction. All these things connect together to create the whole of the universe that I live in. And that is the power that I see that's far, far greater than I as an individual am. Once I connected with that, like I say, life changed. I found not only did prayer, in my addiction, prayer seemed like something that I would never do again. Not only did prayer seem natural, it felt right. And I can't tell you exactly what I'm praying to, but I can tell you that doesn't matter. What matters is that the things that I express in that prayer, and the fact that I am exploring through that prayer. And so I love this final section of the book because I really identified with what he said regarding the interconnectedness of people and things and the universe. And it really rang true for me because that's so similar to my own belief in a higher power. My big message would be just don't let the God stuff turn you off of AA, and don't let and if it does turn you off of AA, don't let it turn you off of recovery programs in general, because there's so much other stuff out there you can explore that doesn't get into God as much. But don't let it stop you. I think that all of us, if we really open our minds, can find a power in this world that's greater than ourselves in order to work the steps in a 12-step program. If you just keep your mind open and look around you, you'll see that you might already believe in that power and you just haven't quite put it that way. That's it for today. I may not be back tomorrow. I may be taking a little break to do a couple of things, to switch some things up. I will be back at some point, but I'm not sure if I'll be back tomorrow. So if you don't see me, all is good. I just got to do a couple of different things to try to keep my recovery fresh and maybe explore some new ways to get this channel, keep this channel going the way I want it to. In the meantime, I hope you have a great, great recovery, and I'll be back.